Enter the vortex of receiving, Eva Hartley's method that transforms your prosperity. Have you ever had the feeling that the universe has silenced you? It's as if all the doors closed at once. Plans fall through, people drift apart, and even prayers seem to echo in a void. I know what it's like, and maybe no one has told you this before, but this silence isn't punishment. It's invitation. Because there comes a moment when the universe stops responding in order to teach you to hear. And it is precisely there, at that point where your human strength ends, that the vortex is starting to call to you. Breathe with me. Everything that is mine by divine essence is already seeking me out. Repeat quietly. I am ready to receive, even without understanding how. I remember the day I stopped asking and started just align myself. It wasn't in a temple, nor in a moment of glory. It was in an empty room, with tears and silence. But it was there that I realized the vortex is not a place, it's a state. And the key to accessing it is simple, yet profound, vibrational surrender. When you let go of fear, the vortex begins to spin. And when it spins, everything that is yours begins to move in your direction. Everything that is mine by divine essence is already seeking me out. Breathe with me. Feel the air entering, lightly, as if the Creator Himself were telling you, you haven't lost anything. You've simply stepped out of the flow. I am ready to receive, even without understanding how. There was a day when I silently shouted to the sky, why does nothing ever happen for me? I pray, I believe, I try. And yet it seems like the universe has forgotten me. If you've ever felt this way, welcome. You're not broken. You're at the exact point where the vortex begins to call to you. Because the vortex doesn't appear when everything goes right. It emerges when you finally get tired of fighting with life. It is at that moment, when control slips from our hands, that the energy of receiving begins to emerge. I needed to lose almost everything to understand that the vortex isn't a place, it's a vibrational delivery state. While I was trying to control it, I was creating resistance. While I feared time, I blocked the flow. But when I accepted the silence, something began to move. I felt as if an invisible force was telling me, stop asking, start allowing. The first step to entering the vortex is to escape the vibration of scarcity disguised as prayer. It's about understanding that asking and trusting are on different frequencies. To ask for a share of what is lacking, to trust in a share of what is certain, and the universe only responds to the vibration of certainty. Therefore, while you doubt, everything stands still. But when you decide to trust, even without proof, the field opens up. That's when my life changed. Nothing changed on the outside, but everything changed on the inside. And inside is the first portal. Life began to respond to me with small signs, a connection, an invitation, an unexpected idea. It was no coincidence. It was the vortex saying, now I can act because you have stopped resisting. You know what's beautiful? The vortex requires no effort. It is not conquered, it is accessed. And the access code is simple, yet profound. Presence and permission. A presence to listen to what the soul feels. Permission to let go of what the ego fears to lose. With each conscious breath, you draw closer to the frequency of divine abundance. Today, I want you to do something small for me. Close your eyes. Place your hand on your chest and say, I'm not waiting for a miracle. I am already the miracle that the universe is manifesting. Repeat until you feel something vibrate inside. That's the sound of the vortex opening. And it is at that moment that everything that is yours begins to find you. If this resonated with you, write in the comments, I am ready to receive, and stay with me until the end, because in the next moment, I'm going to show you how to heal the invisible resistance that prevents abundance from arriving. Everything that is mine by divine essence is already seeking me out. Breathe with me. Feel the air entering, lightly, as if the Creator Himself were telling you, you haven't lost anything. You've simply stepped out of the flow. State now, I am ready to receive, even without understanding how. There was a day when I silently shouted to the sky, why does nothing ever happen for me? I pray, I believe, I try, and yet, it seems like the universe has forgotten me. If you've ever felt this way, welcome. You're not broken, you're at the exact point where the vortex begins to call to you. Because the vortex doesn't appear when everything goes right. It emerges when you finally get tired of fighting with life. It is at that moment, when control slips from our hands, that the energy of receiving begins to emerge. I needed to lose almost everything to understand that the vortex isn't a place, it's a vibrational delivery state. While I was trying to control it, I was creating resistance. While I feared time, I blocked the flow. But when I accepted the silence, something began to move. I felt as if an invisible force was telling me, stop asking, start allowing. The first step to entering the vortex is to escape the vibration of scarcity disguised as prayer. It's about understanding that asking and trusting are on different frequencies. To ask for a share of what is lacking, to trust in a share of what is certain. And the universe only responds to the vibration of certainty. Therefore, while you doubt, everything stands still. But when you decide to trust, even without proof, the field opens up. That's when my life changed. Nothing changed on the outside, but everything changed on the inside. And inside is the first portal. Life began to respond to me with small signs, a connection, an invitation, an unexpected idea. It was no coincidence. It was the vortex saying, now I can act, because you have stopped resisting. You know what's beautiful? The vortex requires no effort. It is not conquered. It is accessed. And the access code is simple, yet profound. Presence and permission. A presence to listen to what the soul feels. Permission to let go of what the ego fears to lose. With each conscious breath, you draw closer to the frequency of divine abundance. Today, I want you to do something small for me. Close your eyes. Place your hand on your chest and say, I'm not waiting for a miracle. I am already the miracle that the universe is manifesting. Repeat until you feel something vibrate inside. That's the sound of the vortex opening, and it is at that moment that everything that is yours begins to find you. If this resonated with you, write in the comments, I am ready to receive, and stay with me until the end, because in the next moment, I'm going to show you how to heal the invisible resistance that prevents abundance from arriving. Let's declare together, the invisible is already moving in my favor. Breathe, feel the air entering and imagine that it brings subtle answers, signs that only the heart understands. Everything you need to know is already being revealed, slowly, with love. Affirm with all your heart now, together. I recognize the movement of the universe towards me. You know that moment when something inside you whispers, wait, something is changing? It could be a shiver, a coincidence, an unlikely encounter. These are the first echoes of the vortex responding to its new frequency. When you change from within, reality begins to reorganize itself on the outside. But the secret is to recognize the signs without forcing them, because those who force things end up doubting, and whoever doubts slows down the flow. At the beginning of my journey, I asked for signs every day, but what I didn't realize is that the universe doesn't shout, it whispers. The answers came in the form of intuition, sudden peace, a delay that later proved to be protection. The vortex speaks the language of synchronicity, not of haste. And what I once called chance, I now recognize as divine intention. Signs don't come to prove anything to you. They come to guide you. And when you honor them, even the small ones, the flow intensifies. Maybe someone will call you after years. Perhaps a dormant project will resurface in your mind. Or perhaps the simple fact that you feel at peace in a moment where you would previously have felt fear is the greatest sign of all. You are vibrating in a way that is compatible with what you asked for. There comes a point in the journey where faith ceases to be effort and becomes breath. It's when you stop asking for proof and start being grateful for the subtle confirmations. The Creator never fails to answer. He simply changes the language as you mature. When your soul matures, the universe speaks in silence. And those with spiritual ears understand. The vortex is already in motion. Today I want to propose a simple yet powerful gesture to you. Choose a moment of your day and ask the universe, what is the sign that I am ready to receive? And then, just watch. Don't search with your eyes, feel with your heart. The sign will come, and when it does, you'll know. Remember this, the vortex doesn't arrive with noise. It manifests itself in vibrations of lightness, coincidences, and profound peace. And when that peace finds you, don't doubt it. You're already in the flow. The universe is already answering you. If this message resonated with you, leave a comment. I can already feel the movement, because in the next step, I'm going to show you how to stay inside the vortex, even when your mind wants to return to fear and doubt. Let's declare together. I remain at peace, even when the world tries to unsettle me. Breathe with me. It inspires faith. It exhales control. Allow each breath to remind you, the flow doesn't depend on what happens outside, but on what vibrates inside. Affirm with all your heart now, together. I trust in divine timing, and in it I rest. Entering the vortex is an awakening, but staying in it is an art, because the world will test you. Delays, voices, doubts, and situations will arise that seem to push you back into fear. And if you're not anchored in the center of your faith, the old pattern will try to pull you back into chaos. But remember, the vortex is not an emotional state. It's a spiritual posture. The human mind seeks stability through control, but the spirit finds stability in delivery. I needed to learn the difference between acting in desperation and acting in faith. The first movement is noisy and tiring. The second one is light, silent, and precise. When you're in the flow, action stops being a rush and becomes inspired response. There was a day when everything seemed to fall apart, and I almost believed I had lost the vortex. But the Creator taught me, you haven't left the vortex. You've just forgotten that it's internal. I realized that being in the vortex doesn't mean everything is perfect outside. It means that nothing outside can steal your peace. This is the frequency of sustained abundance, serenity amidst movement. And perhaps you are hearing this during a time of waiting, when it seems like nothing is happening. But it is precisely there that faith takes root, because remaining in the vortex is reject emotional haste. It means, even if I don't see it, I know. It's about dancing with the invisible and trusting in the divine rhythm, even when the music changes. The most powerful way to stay in the flow is through thank you in advance. Gratitude is the anchor of the vortex. When you give thanks for what has not yet manifested, the universe understands. It's already aligned. It's already ready. And then everything starts moving again, because the vibration of gratitude is the clearest language of faith. Close your eyes for a moment. Remember something you're still hoping for, and say it now, in a soft voice. Thank you, Creator, because this is already real in my frequency. There's no need to feel euphoria, just presence. Presence is the hallmark of the vortex, and when you cultivate it, abundance no longer needs to find you. It stays with you. If this touched your spirit, comment, I choose to stay in the flow. Because in the next portal, I will reveal it to you, how to transform the vortex into a practical movement of prosperity, so that your faith may begin to bear visible fruit in your life. Let's declare together, everything I receive, I multiply in love. Take a deep breath. Feel the air entering like divine inspiration and leaving like generosity, because true prosperity is the continuous movement between receiving and giving. Affirm with all your heart now, together, what comes to me, passes through me, and blesses the world. When the vortex stabilizes within you, something silently changes. You stop just looking for results and start looking for spiritual relevance. Because the purpose of receiving was never accumulation, it was movement. and the universe does not deposit abundance into containers that want to retain it, but into channels that want it to flow. It was with this understanding that my life began to prosper continuously, not because I asked for more, but because I became useful. I remember the day I asked the Creator, "Why bless me so much?" And He answered my heart, "Because now you're not going to keep it, you're going to share it." That was the key. The energy of the vortex is not static, it is live current. Everything that stops gets sick. Everything that flows flourishes. And when your abundance becomes purposeful, it ceases to be material. It becomes sacred. That's why so many people protest and lose, because they receive them without knowing why they want them. The energy of abundance is not sustained by vanity, only by truth. The Creator does not release prosperity to inflate the ego, but to expand the kingdom. And when you understand this, everything that comes to you begins to carry the divine signature. Nothing is by chance. Every blessing has a purpose. The true state of receiving is to be a channel, not a reservoir. It's when you say, "Lord, if you make me overflow, I promise to irrigate someone's desert." And then the flow increases, because the universe trusts more those who are not afraid to share. Abundance loves those who do not hold back. And the energy of active faith is like a river. The more you let it flow, the stronger it runs. I saw it happen. When I started offering my time, my wisdom, my listening ear, even without much more began to come. And I realized that divine provision always arrives through the same channel where we choose to serve. The hand that blesses is never empty. The vortex rewards the heart that understands. I receive this to reflect the love of the one who sent me. Now I want you to experience this vividly. Close your eyes and say with intention, "I am a channel for good." Everything that passes through me multiplies the light. Feel the vibration of this phrase within your chest, because this is the highest state of the vortex, the point where receiving and giving become one breath. If this resonated with your soul, comment, "I manifest with purpose," because in the next portal, I will guide you to the time of manifestation, how to trust the divine timeline, where we will learn to live the not yet with mature faith and sacred presence. Let's declare together. Nothing is late when timing is divine. Breathe slowly. Feel the calm expanding in your chest. Because God's timing is never late. He's just waiting for your heart to be ready to receive without fear. Affirm with all your heart now, together. What is mine is already coming at the speed of my faith. There is a type of pain that cannot be spoken aloud, the pain of waiting. You believe, you declare, you plant, and yet the fruit seems not to sprout. It is the moment when the ego shouts, "It's over!" and the spirit whispers, "Not yet." And in that interval between the request and the response, many give up, not for lack of faith, but for emotional impatience. But the vortex, the field of receiving, it doesn't move with human haste. It manifests itself in perfect synchronicity between your vibration and divine timing. The Creator never makes you wait to punish you. He makes you wait to align you. Because while you ask for what you desire, He works in you what is necessary. Sometimes, delay isn't a bad thing. It's a sign of mercy. If the blessing arrived before your vibrational structure was ready, it would crush you instead of lifting you up. Therefore, waiting is the field where faith ceases to be theory and becomes maturity. That's where you learn to sustain what's coming. I needed to understand that each delay was a way of protecting myself. When something didn't happen, it was because the invisible was still adjusting, and the vortex, unlike chronological time, responds to the readiness of the soul, not to the calendar of the mind. Nothing that is yours can be lost, but everything that is yours awaits its vibration to stabilize. The waiting then ceases to be a pause and becomes preparation. The secret is to transform the when into "thank you for coming." This simple change alters the entire frequency. While you're vibrating poorly, the flow is blocked. But when you vibrate with anticipatory gratitude, the vortex begins to spin more powerfully. It is at this point that time ceases to be the enemy and becomes instrument of creation. You're not late. You're in the process of catching up. Do you know when the protest is coming? When you finally stop waiting for her. When your heart reaches such a profound state of peace that having ceases to be a need and becomes a consequence. This is the sign that you have entered the divine timeline. The vibration of faith is the clock of the universe, and the Creator never misses the time. Close your eyes for a moment. Think about something that hasn't yet manifested itself. Now he says with confidence, if it hasn't arrived yet, it's because it's being prepared with love. Feel that certainty vibrating within you. Time isn't testing you, it's shaping you, and what's coming is here to stay. If this resonated with you, leave a comment. I trust in divine timing, because at the next portal, I'm going to take you there. The harvest. When the invisible becomes visible, where we will see how the vortex finally materializes in the form of abundance, encounter, and lived purpose. Let's declare together. What was once a promise is now blossoming into reality. Take a deep breath. Feel the air entering as if the universe itself were saying, now is the time for fruition. What was sown in faith begins to emerge in form. Affirm with all your heart now, together. I celebrate the invisible that has become visible. There comes a moment when the invisible surrenders to the visible, and that moment always arrives in a simple way. There is no thunder, no warning. Suddenly you realize it happened. And everything that seemed distant begins to manifest itself naturally. That email, that person, that sign, that project that seemed stalled. Everything starts moving as if the universe had been waiting all along for your inner yes. This is the sound of the harvest, the sound of the synchronicity between faith and form. The harvest is never a surprise for those who have learned to sow consciously. What comes to you is a reflection of what you have silently vibrated. The vortex responds to vibration, not to haste. And when you hold on to your faith even without seeing, the universe bows down to honor you. Nothing happens by chance. What's happening now comes with a purpose. Each blessing bears the signature of perfect timing, a mature heart, and a faith that has stood the test and endured. I remember the first time I realized the harvest in my life. It wasn't an award, it wasn't a number, it wasn't something material. It was peace. That peace that told me, now everything is all right. And soon after, the doors began to open. The financial flow came, connections were formed, ideas flourished. But the most beautiful thing is that what I received outside was merely a reflection of the abundance that already pulsated within. This is where the vortex is complete, when your inner self and your outer self speak the same language. And that language is the gratitude. Gratitude is the seal of the harvest, the code that closes the cycle. When you give thanks, you anchor the manifestation in the physical plane, and what was subtle becomes solidified. To give thanks is to say to the universe, I recognize your movement and I honor it. But there's a secret that few understand. The harvest is not the end, it's a new beginning. Every blessing received is a seed of something greater. The vortex never ceases, it expands. And the more you share what you've received, the more it circulates, the more doors open, the more love flows. The miracle is not an endpoint, it's an upward spiral. Then, close your eyes for a moment and feel the energy of everything that has already manifested. Even if it seems like a small amount, celebrate it. Because in the spiritual realm, the small is always the beginning of the much. Say it with me. I receive. I celebrate. I multiply. Feel that vibration in your chest. This is the sound of the harvest. This is the rhythm of the vortex. If this message touched your spirit, please comment. My harvest has begun, because in the next step, we're going to continuous flow, how to live in a permanent state of receiving, where I taught you how to transform the vortex into a lifestyle. a continuous frequency of manifestation, peace, and expansion. Let's declare together, I live in flow, not in effort. Breathe with me. Feel the lightness of not having to chase after anything. Everything that is yours already knows the way to you. Affirm with all your heart now, together, I don't seek miracles, I vibrate miracles. To live in a permanent state of receiving is to live in constant communion with the Creator. It's not about moments of faith, it's about awareness of presence. You don't activate the vortex, you make it so, embodies. And when that happens, every thought, every gesture, and every word becomes creative vibrations. You stop reacting to life and start co-creating with it. This is the highest level of spiritual abundance, to live faith as a natural frequency. But this is where many return to the effort without realizing it. They think that cash flow is a prize, when in reality it's a continuous inner posture. The flow is lost when the mind starts wanting to control, compare, or predict again. Therefore, the secret to staying in it is presence and confidence. Being present to live in the now. Confidence to know that the present moment already contains everything necessary for the next step. The mind asks, what if it goes wrong? But the spirit replies, what if it's already worked out? This is the change that sustains the flow. Those who live in a state of receiving don't look for proof, they perceive signs. Don't force it, allow it. It doesn't beg, it attracts. And what once seemed like effort becomes second nature. Abundance ceases to be something achieved and becomes a consequence. I learned that flow is like the breath of the soul. If you try to control the pace, you suffocate. But if you simply breathe consciously, everything returns to balance. Therefore, living in the vortex is remembering to breathe with the Creator, inhaling direction, exhaling surrender. It's about understanding that each challenge is simply an invitation to adjust the vibration. Nothing is against you. Everything is reminding you who you are. And you know what's even more powerful? When you live in that state, abundance recognizes you. You no longer need to search for doors. They will open. The right people will find you. Opportunities are presenting themselves, and you realize it was never about attracting things, but about to become compatible with the vibration of love. So now, take a deep breath and say with intention, I remain in flux, because flux is my nature. Feel this phrase resonate within you. The vortex is not a destination. It is the home of your awakened soul. And once you inhabit it, nothing can take it away from you. If this resonated with you, comment below. I live in the divine flow, because at the next portal, I will guide you, the guardian of the vortex, protecting your energy from interference and deviations, where we will learn how to shield this frequency and keep the receiving field pure and sacred. Let's declare together, I am the guardian of my energy, and nothing external can corrupt what is divine within me. Breathe deeply. Feel your energy expanding and strengthening at the same time. What comes from the light remains in the light. Affirm with all your heart now, together. I protect my vortex with awareness, not with fear. When you learn to live in the vortex, something extraordinary happens. Your light begins to bother those who still live in the shadows. And it's not because these people are bad, it's because your presence awakens in them what is still dormant. Therefore, those who live at a high vibrational frequency need to learn to protect the field, not with resistance, but with awareness. You don't need to shut yourself off. You need to know what you allow in. The vortex does not break apart due to external attack, but due to internal inattention. The guardian of your vortex is your vibrational discernment. He is the one who perceives what resonates and what drains energy. People, environments, news, conversations. Everything carries a frequency, and what you consume, you incorporate. Therefore, choose each day what nourishes your soul. Your focus is the filter of your abundance. I needed to learn how to protect myself without becoming hardened. For a long time, I confused love with access. But true love doesn't expose, it sets boundaries. The Creator taught me, daughter, even light needs outlines to shine. And that's how I started saying no, peacefully, firmly, consciously. Because every no, said with love, is a silent prayer for your own preservation. Protecting your vortex is also about taking care of your body, your emotions, and your thoughts. Energy is depleted when you blame yourself, over-explain yourself, or try to convince someone who isn't ready. Not everyone will understand your path, and that's okay. Your mission is not to convince, it is live your truth consistently. Those who are of the light will recognize it by the vibration. One of the most powerful ways to protect your field is conscious presence. When you are present, external noise doesn't drag you down. You realize what is yours and what is not. And in that state, you stop being a sponge and become a lighthouse. The guardian of the vortex does not fight, it radiates. And the radiance of your peace is your greatest spiritual defense. Now I want you to feel this. Close your eyes and imagine a golden light enveloping you like a cloak. It doesn't isolate you, it purifies you. Nothing heavy gets in, nothing light gets lost. Say it with me. I am a channel of light, and the light protects me. Repeat until you feel your body vibrate in peace. This is the guardian's armor, awareness and love. Remember, protecting your vortex isn't about building walls. It's about keeping the temple clean. The purer your field, the lighter the flow. And when energy is honored, the universe trusts you more. Light respects those who respect themselves. If this resonated with you, leave a comment. I am the guardian of my vortex. Because at the next portal, I will guide you to the eternity of the vortex, the return to the source, where we conclude the journey by uniting purpose, love, and divine fulfillment, the point where everything begins anew, on another level of consciousness. Let's declare together, I am one with the source, and in it, I never cease to flow. Breathe slowly, sit in stillness. The universe observes you in silence, not as one who expects something from you, but as one who recognizes itself in you. Affirm with all your heart now, together. Everything begins and begins again within me, because I am an expression of the divine. There comes a point in the journey when you realize the vortex is neither outside nor above. It is the very beating of your heart. You don't go in there anymore, because you and this awareness changes everything. You stop searching for answers and start becoming the answer. Stop looking for signs and become the sign. Your mere existence, aligned with the source, becomes a portal of healing and abundance for everyone around you. The eternity of the vortex is the point where time ceases to exist. You no longer live between before and after. You live in the present, now sacred. Everything that has passed dissolves. Everything that is to come already vibrates within you. And the Creator is no longer a distant presence, but a breath within your chest. In this state, there is no more asking or waiting. There is only to be. And this being is the purest prayer that exists. When the soul attains this awareness, it understands. Prosperity is not a prize. Love is not a quest. Purpose is not a destination. All of this has always been a reflection of your reunion with the source. The vortex is the path back home, the return to your true self, the self that was never lost, only forgot who it was. I remember the day I realized this clearly. There were no lights, no voices, just a silence filled with presence. And in that silence, I understood that there was no longer any separation between me and the Creator. What I used to call flow was now just life, alive, constant, and eternal. And in that instant, I knew the vortex never ends. It expands with you. Now I want you to breathe with me one last time. Feel the air going in and out, not as a beginning and an end, but as a continuous flow. Every breath is a reminder. You are part of the source, and the source is part of you. Nothing is out of place. You lack nothing. The vortex is your awakened nature, and living in it is simply remember every day who you are. Say it with me in a soft voice, like a seal upon your journey. I am the flow, I am peace, I am the source. I am the flow, I am peace, I am the source. Feel. The silence that follows these words is not emptiness. It is presence. It's the Creator telling you, welcome back. If you felt this spoke deeply to you, comment, I return to the source, and let that phrase resonate, not just on your lips, but in your life. Everything you were looking for outside was already blossoming inside. The vortex is not a distant portal. It is the eternal movement of the love that created you.